Hey everyone, you ever hear the word economics and just kind of tune out? You picture all these complicated charts and jargon, right? Well, today we're going to prove that it's not like that at all. We're going to see how economics is really about the simple choices you and I make every single day. So let's just jump right in. So picture this. It's Friday night. You're exhausted from the week, and you're thinking, do I order that amazing pizza I've been craving? Or do I take that cash and stick it in the vacation fund? It's a real dilemma, isn't it?
And right there, in that moment, weighing that choice, yep, you are doing economics. That's really all it is at its core. It's not some far-off, abstract thing. It's happening in your head all the time.
And here's the textbook definition. At the end of the day, economics is just the science of choice. It's the study of how all of us, you, me, huge companies, even entire countries, deal with one simple fact. We can't have everything. Our wants are endless, but our resources, like our money and our time, are definitely not.
Okay, so if it all boils down to choice, there have to be some rules to the game, right? Let's break down the basic principles that are running in the background of every decision we make.
So, the starting line for all of economics is this one really powerful idea: scarcity. It seriously doesn't matter who you are, a billionaire, a student, anyone. We all want more than we can have. This gap between our unlimited wants and our limited resources is a universal problem. It affects literally everyone.
And that leads to this perfect little chain reaction. So first, scarcity is a fact of life. Because of that, second, we're forced to make a choice. And then third, every single time we choose one thing, we're automatically giving something else up. And that something else has a special name.
That name is opportunity cost. It's simply the next best thing you didn't pick. So if you chose the pizza, your opportunity cost was making a little more progress on saving for that vacation. It's the path you didn't take. And understanding this is, well, it's absolutely crucial for understanding why we do what we do.
All right, now that we've got those ground rules down, let's talk about the two main ways economists look at the world. You can think of them like having two different camera lenses to look at all these choices being made.
Honestly, this is the easiest way to get it. Microeconomics, micro for small, is all about the small picture. It looks at the decisions of individual people or families or a single business. It's like studying one tree at a time. Then you have macroeconomics, which zooms way out to look at the entire forest. It deals with the big picture, the whole economy, national issues, that kind of thing.
And this is where it gets really clear. Look at the examples. On the micro side, we're talking about stuff like the price of gas at the pump or how many people one specific company decides to hire. But on the macro side, it's the huge stuff: the unemployment rate for the entire country, the overall rate of inflation, a nation's total output. It's the same world, just a totally different angle of view.
So we all face scarcity. We all make choices. But what happens when you scale that up from just one person to, say, an entire society of millions? Well, it turns out that every single society, no matter what, has to figure out the answers to three huge economic questions.
And here they are. First, what are we going to make? With our limited resources, should we be making more electric cars or more hospitals, more video games or more schools? Second, how are we going to make all this stuff? And third, maybe the trickiest one, for whom are we making it? Once everything is made, who actually gets it?
Let's just focus on that second question for a second, the how. This isn't just about engineering. It's a massive economic choice. It's all about figuring out the best technique to combine our resources, our people, and our technology to get things done. And really, societies have two main ways they can go. They can be labor-intensive, which means they use a lot of people and not as much machinery, or they could be capital-intensive, which is the opposite: lots of machines and technology and fewer people. Which one do they choose? Usually, it just comes down to whichever is cheaper or more available in that country.
And what about that for whom question? Well, in most economies like ours, the answer is pretty simple. The stuff goes to whoever can afford it. It's all about purchasing power. And actually, the way a society decides to answer all three of these questions is what defines its entire economic system, whether that's capitalism, socialism, or something in between.
Okay, so we've got individuals making choices and whole societies answering these massive questions. But how does it all connect? Let's actually visualize how the economy works with a really simple and honestly pretty cool model. So in the most basic version of the economy, you've really only got two main groups. On one side, you've got households. That's us. And on the other side, you've got businesses, the companies that make all the stuff we want to buy.
Now, these two groups meet up in a couple of places. The first one is called the factor market. A simple way to think of this is like the job market. It's where we, households, provide our labor and other resources to the businesses that need them to operate.
And what do we get in return for our work? Well, businesses pay us. That payment is our income. It comes in the form of wages for our jobs, rent if we own property, and so on. This is how money flows from businesses to us.
The second place we all meet is the product market. This is basically everywhere you shop. It's where businesses sell all the things they've made, their goods and services, directly to us, the households.
And here's where we complete the circle. We take that income we earned over in the factor market and we spend it in the product market to buy all that stuff. That money flows right back to the businesses, and the whole thing just keeps going round and around.
This quote just nails it perfectly. You've got a flow of actual stuff, like our labor and the products we buy, moving in one direction. And then you have the flow of money moving in the exact opposite direction. It's this simple, elegant, circular system that shows how everything is connected.
So this model gives us a great foundation. But, real life is always a bit more complicated, isn't it? It kind of makes you wonder, if the flow is this clean and simple, where does the government fit in? What about taxes? And what happens when we start trading with other countries? That right there is where the next level of economics kicks in. So, what do you think happens when we add all that to the mix?